Really excited to be starting off my 2026 market season. It's right around the corner now. I just have like a few weeks to prepare for my first market on March 27th or 28th. I forgot. If you follow me on Instagram, you may know the saga of my first market this season. It was quite the journey to decide if I was going to be participating in Renegade in San Francisco or not. I applied to at least 5 Renegade Crafts around the country for the fall and summer seasons, and I expect maybe to get into a few here or there, but mostly waitlisted, if anything. I didn't expect that the first one of the year that would come around I would be accepted into. I've never been to San Francisco, but I've heard such amazing things about it, and so many people messaged me being like, you have to do it, you have to do it. I was like, oh, I want to go so bad, but like, weighing the pros and cons, it's like there was just so many expenses that went into it, and like financially right now I'm trying to save to move into an apartment. You just saw my RV, that's where we live right now. It's why my videos are always outside or in my studio. But yeah, so we're trying to save money, and it's just like not really the time to be investing over $1,200 for a market. So after many days of back and forth and oversharing on Instagram, I officially decided that I was not going to do Renegade San Francisco. But if you're following the story, that doesn't really make sense. So I emailed them and said that I was not able to participate. It just wasn't the right time for me financially. However, I'd love to be considered in the future. I just wanted to be professional and like let them know that I wasn't just ghosting them or something. I know it's a big organization, but like, trying to remain professional. And every year that I apply for Renegade, I also apply for their equity and growth grant, and that is to help artists who need space to be at the markets but can't really do it for whatever circumstances they're under. Some of you may know that I live in Asheville, North Carolina, and we were hit by Hurricane Helene back in 2024. It was the end of 2024, and that really was the start of Overdraft for me. Overdraft was already formed, but that was kind of the kickoff of it. Was I was unable to work my full-time job anymore, and I had to figure out something, and I also had to do something for my sanity. So I kind of dove right into Overdraft. However, I've been pouring my personal funds into it, and I've accrued more debt than I would like to admit, and yeah, it's just been a really rough few years. So when I apply for that grant, I kind of let them know that situation, and just simply every single market I do is a really big risk for me financially. I'm not in a place where I could spend $1,200 on a market, not sell anything, and be financially okay from that. That would really destroy me financially more than I've already been. Renegade was kind enough to review my grant application again and decide to offer me the grant, which covers the booth fee of $400. So that cut my expenses down by a third, and I decided that for just over $800 for my expenses, it would be worth the risk. And truthfully, if I don't make $800, it still will not be good, but I do know the track record shows that I make at least $1,000 at each market, and people say that this is their best market, so I'm just really hoping that that proves to be true. It's definitely a risk, but I'm really excited to take it. So with that comes some new challenges. I am going to be flying to a market for the first time because there's no way I'm driving all the way across the country to San Francisco from Asheville, North Carolina. So I'm just packing one suitcase, one carry-on, one personal bag. I was gonna do 2 suitcases plus a carry-on before, but it just adds up so quickly. So I was like, what can I do to make everything fit? And thankfully jewelry is relatively small, so I just need to make it work. Renegade does offer rentals for tables and chairs, which I originally was going to take them up on, getting 2 tables and a chair. However, I have come up with a really awesome idea of how I can potentially pack what I need into a suitcase. And so you can follow along with me. I'm going to share if this works or not, and what I'm thinking, because it's really hard to find what people do when they're traveling for fairs where they're flying, and like how they make a display more than just like a basic table display. I did end up renting a chair from them for $20, which was not bad. I'm also staying at a hostel that's a 5-minute walk from the venue, so that will be very convenient, and it was also very inexpensive. And I've heard that other vendors tend to stay there if they can, so I think it's going to be a winning situation all around. So I went ahead and pulled my clothing rack out of the shed, and it's really nice. It actually folds up really small. Each and every one of these little like pieces of the pole comes apart, so I think I'll be able to pack this into a suitcase rather nicely. So let's go and grab the next thing. So this setup won't be ideal for outdoor markets because there's quite a breeze and it keeps flying upward. Anywho, this is kind of the start. I actually did it different than I expected. It has little grommets on top of the curtain, and I decided that I didn't want those to make it look entirely like a curtain. Although, now that we're looking at it, that's kind of cute. But no, I think that will be the back. But I did still use the little ribbons I intended. Originally, I was going to put ribbons through each of these and have this on the front, but it just looked a little bit too much like a cheap curtain. Okay, and now the moment of truth. This is the final piece to my setup. Obviously, I need to iron that the day of. This is just a mock setup, so I don't really care right now. But these are little clips. Let me see if I can grab them for you. Okay, so these are little clips that are actually designed for if you like work in a cubicle with like those fabric walls, you can like hang a picture frame in that like fabric wall like this. But I thought that these would be amazing to poke through here, and I could like hang either my necklaces, or if I put my earrings on like a card or anything like that, I could really hang from here. And then I actually may order a custom like silver colored sign that I'll put up with magnets on the top of here, or even on the bottom to weigh it down. I don't really know yet, but okay, give me a sec. I want to see if these do the trick. Wow, I'm so excited. I hope you see the vision that I have right now. I just took off the necklace I'm wearing because all of my jewelry is at the studio right now. But that is just with one little hook. I'm even thinking that I could add another hook right next to it and have like kind of a spaced out display if I want to show off a chain more, or just like take up more space to make it all fit. But the only thing I will say was getting this in was kind of tricky because it like cinches in the fabric a little bit. So I'm almost thinking that I'll have to like use something like tape or something just to kind of pull this tight on both sides while I'm attaching all the pieces, and then, you know, it can be like free flowing after that. But I think during setup it might be a little bit tricky to get them to look really nice and flat like I did with this one. Even still, there's like a little bit of cinching, but just for an example, I think that will be okay. I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna add one more there, and we're going to see what that looks like. Wow, I'm genuinely so excited right now. You guys, this was just like me trying to brainstorm so hard of how to bring a portable jewelry display that like actually looks nice. Like I said, it definitely needs to be ironed and or steamed or whatever, but like this is gonna be so cute. I plan on using this right behind me, this beautiful little rack that I put together. But I also plan on using a camping table. If you're not familiar with camping tables, I tell everyone, use these for markets. Like, they're so freaking good. They fold up to be the size of like, you know, like a chair that you would bring to like a soccer game, like one of those folding chairs. It folds up to be like that big. Like, you get like a bag and it's just like in a tube like that, and it's so incredible. They go for like probably like at a minimum $45, but probably more like $65. It basically has the top that folds out like into the little individual bars, and each of those bars has like a little tubing on it. There's like 3 pieces of tubing that are hollowed out, and then you have all of these aluminum bars that all like snap together super easily, and then it just like expands into table form, and you just like basically fit the tabletop on top, and it's all on elastic, so you can actually like pull it apart, fit it over, and like boom, you put the little holes onto the little rods, and it takes probably like 45 seconds to set up at most. Probably less than that for me because I've been doing it forever ever. But even if you're a new person doing it, like, it should not take you even a full minute. Hey there, today is March 3rd. I'm in my studio getting ready for Renegade San Francisco. I am doing a lot of prepping today. We're going to get some pieces ready for casting that I'll show you in a second here, and I need to do a little bit of organizing and then just also see like what else I can do in the next few weeks to prepare and have as much as possible. So I'll show you a few pieces real quick. The last time I was in the studio, I did a bunch of wax injections with my molds. So I'm going to get these all cleaned up. As you can see, they're not quite ready for casting because all of these little imperfections will come through. So I'm going to clean these all up, get them ready for casting, and I'll keep you all posted on how this all goes. I'm excited to have a few more duplicates of some of my favorite pieces.